Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together. Welcome back, baseball family, to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast. My name's Brig. I'll be riding this train with you today, and Brad, unfortunately, feels like a rancid bag of hot garbage. He told me that he cannot function, he can barely speak, and he can't breathe either. So whatever's happening to Brad, we wish him the best. However, he has graciously agreed to be here. He's going to produce the show this time. So he's here, he's just not here, if that makes sense. So we wish him the best. We hope he's not dead this time tomorrow. Send him care packages and well wishes, and jump in the comments and let him know that we care, because we do. And he feels like really terrible. Okay, Brad, we love you. All right, first thing we're going to get into is the first thing we get into every single week. We want to let you guys know about Chinook seeds, because it is one of our favorite things here on the show. We love sunflower seeds, and so when we found out about these, Brad found out about Chinook seedery, and he had me try some, and I tried them, and then we decided we'd reach out. So we did. We reached out to Chinook seeds, and we told them how much we love their stuff, and ended up with a discount code for you, baseball family. So you go over chinookseedery.com, use code BTPOD for 10% off your order. That does support us as well, by the way, so that's a great way to do that. It supports them. Terrific organization. Completely United States owned, if that's your thing, if that's what you're into. Everything's done here, made here, built here, etc. And it supports you. So everybody wins with Chinook Seeds. You can go to chinookseedery.com and use code BTPOD for 10% off your order at checkout. Now, Luis Arraez has been hospitalized after he collided with Mauricio Dubon, the Astros' second baseman. For those of you who have not seen the video, it did not look good at all. Arraez was thrown out at first after he attempted a bunt that went up the first base line. First baseman runs to secure the ball, throws to first base. Second baseman Mauricio Dubon goes to first to cover, and Luis Arraez runs right into his shoulder. What happened then was Arraez ended up on the ground for several minutes, and it was an extended period of time, and it got really scary for a while. Everybody was pretty worried because he was not moving. First responders got there, trainers got there, everybody, and the first thing they did obviously was check and see if he's okay, but they stabilized his neck, everything from his shoulders up, to make sure that whatever might be wrong was not worsened as the protocol dictated. Anybody who's ever been in the medical field or has ever taken a first aid course, you know that if you have a head and neck injury of any kind, the first thing you want to do is make sure it doesn't move from where it's at. So that's what they did. Anyway, once they got him off, got him braced up, they put him on the cart, and they hauled him off the field, and to everyone's tremendous relief, he hoisted the thumbs up into the air, and that was such a positive for everybody. You cannot take one of the best hitters in baseball and San Diego's primary DH and hurt him. And I mean, you can. That happens all the time, but it sucks is what I'm saying. It's like terrible. It's bad for baseball when a guy like that goes down, is what I'm trying to say. Now, he did return to the clubhouse post-game. He appeared okay. I guess he was kind of chumming it up with his teammates, and all the reports have said that he looked like he was in pretty good shape. So that's good. What we know now is that he was placed on the 7-day IL. He's following concussion protocol, and they're going to watch him really closely. And as a Yankees fan, I hope that they really watch closely, that whatever tests need to be done and passed are rigorously adhered to, because everybody knows what happened to Anthony Rizzo, who spent however long, months, playing through concussion, and he's never been the same since. He doesn't have a job today, and that's criminal. So honestly, I still hold the Yankees organization accountable for that. And I expect with everything they have going on in San Diego and the culture they've sustained down there, at least so far in this young season, that he will be taken care of and we'll see him back hopefully soon, but not any sooner than he needs to be. Now, the Friars are on a tear still. They're still killing it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him even just 7 days off the field. But they've already got somebody called up to replace him, and, that's how it works. The show must go on, as they say. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I want to know from you, baseball family, do you think this impacts, is this one guy that important to San Diego that a week without him is that big a deal? Or do you think they'll be just fine? Let me know in the comments and respond to that. The next thing that's really interesting, and I know we're moving kind of fast, which is kind of fun, actually. The next thing we're going to be doing is talking about how landlords have been embarrassed their renters this weekend. Oh, hold on. Hold on one second. Let me just do this. Okay, so the landlords went ahead and embarrassed their renters today at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, rather. The Rays hosted the Yankees at their own facility that they are renting to the Rays. Game 1, the Yankees won 6-3. Game 2, the Yankees won 1-0. That was much closer than I wanted it to be. Game 3, I'll talk about in detail in a moment. But in Game 4, the Yankees won again, 4-0. Now, Game 3 was really interesting because the Yankees were in the lead in the 9th inning. They come into the 9th inning, scores 4-8, and they bring in Devin Williams in the 9th. And here comes the airbender, and we're thinking, okay, this is great. It's going to be fine. Until we learn that it's not fine, and maybe even things aren't fine with Devin Williams, who now is sporting like a 9.00 ERA or some hullabaloo like that. The Yankees end up losing the game in a 10-8 walk-off scenario because Devin Williams gave up 4 runs in the 9th. He did it on 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 walk, 7 batters. Yep, so his ERA is exactly 9 now. Amazing. 7 batters, 4 hits, 1 walk. That's atrocious. Still 3 out of 4 at their summer home down there in Tampa, or their winter home rather. Okay, that's pretty good. The Yankees maintain their position in first place at the top of the division. Now, Cubs and D-backs, let's move on to another game that was a stunner. Friday in Chicago was windy, and it was rainy, and the weather played havoc all over the game. Winds coming in, winds going out, and the ball is swirling all up in the jet stream, and then most of them we never saw again. It kind of felt that way anyway. It's just cooking. So in the 7th, first of all, the game ended 11-13 in favor of the Cubs. It went 11 innings. And in just in the 7th and 8th innings, this is what we saw. 6 home runs, 2 grand slams, and all 4 types of hits, right? Single, double, triple, everything. Home run, obviously. And then 3 half innings featured 5 or more runs. And every kind of home run you can think of, right? So solo shots, 2-run, 3-run, grand slam. Holy crap. So in Major League Baseball history, this has never happened in an entire game, in an entire single enclosed game. And on Friday, it happened within the course of 9 outs. It took 9 outs over those 2 innings, over those 2 innings to get all of this accomplished. I don't know. Accomplished? Is that even the right word, Brad? That's not the right word. It occurred. For it to have happened. Yeah, it occurred over 9 innings, which is crazy. Combined 16 or 9 outs. I said 9 innings. I meant 9 outs. The combined 16 runs in the 8th inning was the highest scoring inning in the history of Wrigley Field. Now, don't forget Wrigley Field has been around for a billion years, okay? The Cubs became the first team in 113 years to allow 10 runs in a single inning after the third inning and then still win the game. So put that in your prayer and ponder it. It's what I have to say. For all you Cubs fans, you're probably thrilled. Even, let's be honest, the D-backs fans probably loved this game anyway, despite its outcome. This was one of the most exciting games. Brad and I were texting each other. I got it on the radio because I'm getting kids back and forth from stuff, and we are just shocked. So, baseball family, we want to know how you felt, because that's our assumption, is that you guys were loving it and then hating it and loving it. So give us an explanation of your experience. Was it a roller coaster? Absolutely it was. But tell us, get in the comments and let us know. Were you watching? Were you listening? Were you at the freaking game? What was it like to be at the game for those of you that were there? I'll bet it was, man, the beer snake must have been just absolutely crazy. Somebody, we got to get a beer snake. We got to get a picture of the beer snake in the outfield there in the bleachers at Wrigley. So, okay, so on Saturday, the Cubs won 6-2. Sunday, the D-backs won 3-2. The Cubs, this is cool. The Cubs have now won 5 of their last 6 series. 3 series losses out of 8 total. Okay, you got to go to Tokyo, right? All the travel to and from. You lose 2 in a row to LA. Probably the best team we've seen in 50 or 25 years on paper. Okay. Then you go and lose in Arizona. Then you win in Sacramento. You host a winning series at home against San Diego in Texas. And then you go down to Chavez Ravine and you beat the Dodgers in a series. That's awesome. You go a little bit over across the streetish to San Diego. Yeah. First home loss to the Padres of the entire season. Still lose the series, no big deal. And then you come home and you beat the D-backs, whom I have still at top of mind for one of the best teams in baseball right now. So, until the Cubs showed up. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I need to reevaluate some stuff. Remember last time we talked about the Cubs, they had the number one, they led Major League Baseball in runs produced at 116, I think it was a couple days ago. Okay, well now they lead MLB with 145 runs. The next closest team is the Yankees. They have 126 runs. So they are 19 runs better. They are outperforming all of Major League Baseball by at least 19 runs. That is a lot of production, and an 11-13 game certainly explains some of that. But that is still a ton of production. So that made me think, well, what else is going on with the Cubs? So here's a couple things I need to let you know. Their third in Major League Baseball was stolen bases. Milwaukee leads with 33. Seattle has 32. And then there's the Cubs, have 31 stolen bases. And then they are top 10 in the following categories. And some of them they're number 2 in these categories. Okay? They are top 10 in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging, WRC plus, and WAR. Their team's combined WAR is 6.0 right now. That's good enough for number 2 across all of Major League Baseball. Now, that obviously puts them at first place in the Central. And I think they're going to stay there possibly the rest of the season. Their schedule certainly will not entirely let up the rest of the season, but it's not going to be much harder than that. So we want to know, is this Kyle Tucker? Is this Kyle Tucker? Because Kyle Tucker, he's not the only thing that's changed. But man, he has been a big deal, huge difference maker going forward. So as long as he can, keep doing what he's doing, I think it's going to be great. I doubt the Cubs will let anybody catch them. Now, like we said last time, you're going to go 8 losses in a row. You're going to give up 2 or 3 series in a row sometime. Everybody does it. At some point in the season, it's going to happen. But this is a pretty strong start. So, Cubs fans, how you feeling? What are you thinking? Are you loving this? There was a lot of shakeup in that, in some of the guys that you let go. But man, I don't know if Brad's been watching the Cubs much, but Dansby Swanson, it continues to be impressive. He might be, like, his defense might be the best I've seen it ever, as his defense is right now. It might be the best it's ever been in his career, which is really, really awesome because that dude's a stud. He has a 60 OPS plus, Brad says. Okay, well, good thing he's showing up defensively because you gotta get some balance in there. He'll come alive. Don't worry, he'll come back around. All right, next thing on the list. There's some more issues in Atlanta. In case you didn't know, there are problems in Atlanta, but more than just the problems that they're having on, like, trying to win ball games and stuff. Now they have drama. Okay, this is the last thing that the Braves needed was drama. So Jarred Kelenic launched a ball the other day, thought it was a homer. He kind of pimped it, right? He kind of like admired his work, loafing his way to first base. Ball hits off the wall. He realizes it, kicks it into gear, rounding first base, and is thrown out at second. Basically, that's what happened, okay? Brian Snitker, manager, was asked about it by a Braves radio reporter. Okay, he said, "Did you say anything to Jarred after he watched that ball hit off the bat and then hit the wall?" Snitker replied, "Did I say anything to him? I just said, way to swing the bat. What, was I supposed to say anything?" Basically. So that response, let's see, can I say pissed off? That response pissed off Ronald Acuna Jr. Obviously, how could he not be upset by that? Here's some context coming at you in just a minute. Acuna then gets told about this, and I'm sure is watching the ball game, obviously, but he's also on Twitter at the same time. Somebody posts this response from Snitker on the radio to Twitter, and Acuna jumps into those comments and says, where is it? Thank you. Thanks, Brad. It says, "If it were me, they would take me out of the game." Now, okay, we know that's true. This is not speculation. This is not hyperbole. It has happened before. Let's go back to 2019. Okay? In 2019, Game 1 of the NL Division Series, Acuna was stranded at first base after he admired his own single that went 331 feet, bounced off the wall in right field. Then he gets, grounded into a double play, the whole thing, okay? It was a line drive to the shortstop, who then threw it to second base, and Acuna was on his way already to third. The Braves lost that game 7-6, and then they dropped the final two games in the best-of-5 series in that division series. And what's interesting is that happened in the 7th inning of Game 1. And in the 8th inning, Acuna was seen sitting in the bullpen next to the bullpen catcher at the beginning of the 8th inning. So when Acuna says, "Hello, excuse me, you're gonna loaf like that, and nobody's gonna do anything or say anything," then they're gonna be asked. The manager is gonna be asked about it directly, and he's gonna say, "I told him he did a great job swinging the bat." I'd be livid. Especially if I'm a guy who's working my butt off to try and make it back onto the field, doing rehab because I'm hurt and my team needs me, and I got guys like that I'm watching loaf. Nope. I'd be really, really mad. So, of course. Now, what's interesting, Ozuna got benched too, Brad says. For loafing. Yeah, for the same thing. Here goes. Brad says, Marcell Ozuna was benched by the Atlanta Braves against the Arizona Diamondbacks Sunday, June 4th, 2023, for not running out a long fly ball to center. Now, when asked later the next day, Snitker said, he said, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't see it happen. Didn't know until I saw it this morning. He comes into the ballpark the next day. He says, of Kelenic, I don't look for him not to hustle because he plays with his hair on fire all the time. He's always laying out. So Kelenic then said, I just got to be better and that won't happen again. It's like, well, yeah, it better not. Now, baseball family, what do you think? First of all, is this as egregious as we think it is? Or is this like, okay, you're going to loaf once or twice? Or are we looking at a Braves team who cannot afford, this is my opinion, who cannot afford to loaf under the best of circumstances right now? Because they simply, Jarred Kelenic has an OPS plus of 60. Oh, 180, 255, 320 is what his slash line is. That's, and then he's admiring a solo shot that wasn't, it bounced off the wall. Like, come on, dude. Come on. Your batting average is that low. Anywhere near the Mendoza line, you got to be right here. You got to be focused. Okay? That is embarrassing. The Braves don't need any more work. They've got enough. Now, Spencer Strider is again on the 15-day IL with a hamstring strain. I'm so sorry. Had to throw that in there. It is newsworthy. Last thing. Oh, this is great. This is local news, okay? The biggest bat flip, the most intense bat flip I've ever seen. And I was not at the game, sadly. But the most intense bat flip I have ever seen is now available on video, and we're going to put it up here for you because the Greenville Drive, which is the high A affiliate of the Red Sox, here where I live, okay, so Andy Lugo, he's the third baseman for the Drive. He's 21 years old, he's a prospect, and he walked it off for the Drive. It was on Saturday night. And then as he's watching it go, he throws the bat. Literally, the camera, how do I explain this? The camera is up in the press box, right? Behind home plate, and it's looking down. The camera then pans up, zooms in to see the outfielder who's attempting to make the play, and you can see the bat twirling in the frame. It's absurd. So, dude knew what he was doing. He knew he walked it off. And, good for him. But, so we're a let the kids play kind of a team here. However, this is egregious. This is next level ridiculous. It was the 12th inning. Ended up being a 10-9 score. So, super exciting. And they were outfitted in their Black Spinners Negro Leagues heritage uniforms. That's always fun. Anyway, he rounds first base, barely gets past first base before the coolers just are sloshing him with Gatorade. And it's exciting to watch. So hopefully, if you're not watching because you're listening, then jump over to YouTube and you can see it. We'll put it up. It'll be on the video for you so you can see it. It's incredible. All right, last thing. Today in baseball history, April 22nd, 1915, pinstripes first appeared on the New York Yankees uniforms. Baseball family, with that, we want to thank you for joining us as always. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review the show anywhere you're able to, especially on YouTube. That's our biggest push. That's where we've got most of our content. That's where you can get in touch with us the most. We're even most active in the comments section on YouTube. So if you've got things to say, that is a great place to do it. Don't also forget that we go live 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday night during the season. We're going to tell you what to watch this series, what series to pay attention to, which ones we're going to be paying attention to. We're going to give you a broadcast schedule that anybody can get a hold of, depending on what platforms you're subscribed to, which MLB TV free games are coming up every weekend. All of that and more is available Thursday nights. And then we're also dropping an episode every Sunday as well. So you get another dose of baseball for your weekend. And that's where we do our zany stuff. And our interviews go there. All the stuff that's not necessarily news makes it to Sunday. So join us there as well. And with that, baseball family, thanks so much. We'll see you Thursday.